Alright, so look, as promised, here's probably at least part one of two, maybe more, of my thoughts on the path Wizards has been taking as far as the casual player. I don't feel qualified to take you down the road of where they're going with competitive or professional or wannabe players, but I feel pretty qualified to take you down the path that they've been on with casual players. So this is going to be part one, and sorry if I don't have cool graphics and stuff for you to look at, which, by the way, if there's somebody watching this that's good with cool graphics and wants to work with me on making some videos, has the time to devote to help me set some of these up, that would be awesome. We could probably make some real cool shit happen that not that many people would watch. So if you're into that, get a hold of me and we'll look at doing it. And what I mean by that is that the casual player plays on the kitchen table. He plays with friends. He maybe goes into a shop or a couple shops when he gets a chance, picks up some cards because he just doesn't have them available in his trade group. Maybe he just orders them online because the casual player isn't stupid. He's just not interested in becoming the best Magic player in the world. He might want to be the best Magic player in the county, in the city, at that house, but he's not interested in taking the world by storm. And that is, I don't know, I'll throw out a number, 99+% of Magic players in the world. That's probably fairly accurate. Wizards could probably tell us. But those guys and gals who play Magic that way are the majority. And Wizards took a long, oh my God, such a long time to figure out that, hey, we need to make products for these people because they're the ones that really want the cards the most and are spending the most money. Yeah, we'll have this professional promotional tour. It'll get people excited. Hey, I can win money. Yeah, that'll hit a certain segment, but it's not going to really do what we want. Now, this took them a decade, 2 decades. It took them a long time to figure this out. As you'll see as we get going, it took them damn near 20 years to figure this out. But they figured it out, so props to them for getting there. So we're going to take a little bit of a journey here over the next few minutes on the journey they took. And if you ask me, they first started realizing they had an issue when they came out with Portal. Portal wasn't made for the casual player, but Portal was made for introductory play, to get people an easy way to learn to play the game. That was their first foray into going, you know what? It's not like everybody just pops out and knows that, you know, we've got this rule book that takes the whole internet to encompass. So they made Portal. So I'm going to start with Portal, saying that was a good introductory way. It didn't really feed the casual base, but they realized they needed a way to get people playing. And over the years, Wizards has gotten much better at doing those kinds of things. All the way up to and including this year with the integration of the little freebie decks with the Planeswalker decks and the new product they just announced where they're coming out with, I already forgot the name of it, I just read it yesterday, but it's going to be 2 dual decks that are predetermined for the first game. You don't shuffle them before you play. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about the casual player. So after that, I'd say the next leap they made is they made Unglued. Okay, I don't have a pack of Unglued, but you guys have seen Unstable, right? You've seen Unstable. So, and we'll get to this probably in another video, but you know, they started with Unglued, all right? And Unset, because casual players like goofy. We're going to make something goofy. We're going to make something fun for the people who want the fun things. And they weren't wrong, but they were kind of wrong. A lot of people like that, but that's really a tiny subset of even the casual community. But they were trying. I'll give them props. They were trying. They made that really early, back in the 90s. They tried it. And then they tried again with Unhinged in, what was that, 2001 or something like that? 2004 maybe. So they tried another Unset later on. Again, not really hitting the casual crowd, but some of them. So, again, making a decent effort. Then they tried some non-standard reprint things like Battle Royal and Beatdown and the Deckmasters box set. And those were sort of aimed at casual because they weren't really filling a need with reprints that were needed. They were trying to hit some kind of... They were trying to do something for the casual player. And so I count those as efforts in that that journey they were on. And maybe they didn't know where they were on the journey. They were just trying stuff. Because Chronicles have been a big failure. We're not going to go back over all that. You know, reprinting older cards. They really weren't into that. They made the reserve list, different videos, different times. But they were trying something. They were trying to find a niche. They knew there was something out there. Maybe one of their bigger breakthroughs was the dual decks. Now, the dual decks ended up serving two purposes by the time they came out with those in like 2007. Is that they were giving us much needed reprints from older stuff, but they were also serving a casual community. So you've seen dual decks. Elves and Goblins were the first one. The last one is Elves and Inventors. They're not doing anymore. That's a dead series, I guess, you know. But they were trying something for the casual player. Hey, two people can pop these open, play them. Kitchen table Magic. These aren't tournament legal per se. They've got stuff from older sets, stuff from newer sets. They mixed it up. Again, trying to hit something on the casual player. And I think they were relatively successful at that. It hit a certain group, and a lot of people liked the reprints that would come in there that would be tournament playable. So it hit on a lot of cylinders. They tried From the Vault in 2008, I believe it was. They started From the Vault. So they're putting 15 specially foiled cards that none of the tournament players like because they curl too damn bad. And they gave those to the casual players. Some of them ended up being tournament playable as they went along. But the first one was Dragons. That's obviously aimed at casual players. Dragons show up in tournament decks, but you don't just build a Dragon deck to play at your local Standard Showdown or you take to a GP or something. So that was a thing. From the Vault, you know, had some success. Again, they haven't hit on the formula. They started coming up with this, and I was going to look this up. There was a name for them. They've got a supplemental set that they have every year where they try something new. And the first thing they tried was Plane Chase. And in 2009, hope you guys see it, hear me all right when I step back. That 2009, they tried a little thing called Plane Chase. Plane Chase was a 60-card deck. It was all reprints. But they had 10 planes cards and a die that you roll to randomly jump you between these planes where you'd have different effects on your cards. This was strictly aimed at casual players. And I think that's the first big breakthrough they had, was in 2009 when they did that. So this was totally focused towards casuals. I mean, no tournament player is going to give a crap about these planes cards, and rolling a die and a random nature of it, totally aimed at casuals. Pretty successful. They already had this thing going. They were already looking for something else, and they did Arch Enemy. I don't have any of the original Arch Enemy decks left. Thought I threw over here, but you guys can tell they still think Arch Enemy's a thing because we had Arch Enemy Nicol Bolas. Nicol Bolas is a whole different thing. We can talk about him later in another series or something, but Arch Enemy, another thing that showed they were in the right area. That was 3 versus 1, you know. With Arch Enemy, they tried something new again. Again, aimed at 4-player games. That's not your heads-up thing that the tournament scene's all about. So again, now, and we could do another video series on the whole beginnings of Commander, but Commander by this time was big enough that Wizards noticed it. So now Wizards is working 2 years in advance like they do today. Commander was the next product they developed, came out in 2011, right? 2011. And this was hugely popular. It hit all the tropes. It hit the casual crowd because it was reprinting cards that were hard to get a hold of. It was a playable deck out of the box for a format that was catching on and being widely played. This was the stroke of genius. Whoever finally brought this to Wizards or got them to print it, this was a stroke of genius that started Wizards down the true path of catering towards the casual player. So, if you don't know, they already, like I said, they worked 2 years in advance, so they already had another Plane Chase in the works. So that's why in 2012 you didn't get a Commander. You had another Plane Chase thing that came out, Plane Chase 2012. And then they tried to help out the Commander players, a little reprint, a little Commander's Arsenal. I've talked about these in previous videos. That was the next thing that came out to get you into 2013. And then because Commander's so successful, they didn't really have a need to keep exploring that particular avenue. And in the second video of this series, we'll talk about where they went after Commander was so successful. But we're at 10-minute mark. I figured this is about as far as I'd get. If you like what I'm doing, like I said, you want to help me out with some slides and making it fancier, we can make it fancier. We can do the fancy stuff. Or you can just keep listening to the beautiful sound of the Deranged Hermit's voice as he tells you all the positive stuff that's been going on with Magic the Gathering and doesn't labor with the negative crap that most of the world is feeding you with a spoon on the interweb. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope I got you started thinking about some stuff. Hope I told you something you didn't know. If I didn't, I guess, just quit watching. I'm okay with that. Anyway, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time for part 2.